I wanted to write something for you. I want your dreams to come true. And I longed for it, everything you knew. But I don't really know you. And a big Om Namah Bilu Jashiva Queen Diana Grandma Donna, thank you. My brother Lou, thank you so much. Remember, recover, return is Mother's original song, her original chant. Going back to when she was 12 years old. When the last girl initiated into the new Vril Society, she was 22 years old at the time. And MaRhea took her hand. We switched bodies and took her hand and said, "My daughter, you are 10 years late. You better get going, sister." Because Mother Mary was, and always will be, a very unique, individualistic person. Remember who you are. Recover the power of the energy of what creates in nature more people, more animals, more plants, more mushrooms. The power of the explosion of your personal orgasm. And do not ever let the Christians intimidate you into fear that you are doing wrong. You cannot think or fantasize anything wrong. For what is wrong as an individual is to allow someone else to determine what is right or wrong for you on non-existent, existent planes of imagination. Should I say that again? No one can tell you that there is the law or spiritual law within your own created space, created by your imagination. And the reason that I know that that is true is that there is no general laws for man except the observable laws of nature. In other words, burn your Bible. That is not God speaking. That is not morality. It is quite the opposite. It is a trick to see if you will agree with a all-powerful, insane, murderous, greedy creator of all things. And it's so absurd. It's so crazy. To think that there is nothing higher than man is insane. And rightly, you, the listener, might be saying, I've never encountered anything higher than man. And until 2012, I would have completely agreed with you. I would have said, yes, I have never experienced anything outside of the known reality of nature and all its dimensions and astral planes, blah, blah, blah. But as I was telling people at that time, nothing, especially a man, nothing ever in my waking existence ever approached me as my creator. And, if your government cared about you, they would have taught you in the public school the very most important thing: how to think, so that con men will not deceive you. Right? Right. And I must say, shame on you women Christians, even more than the men. A book that claims that womankind is not made up of individual, sovereign human beings. Let's examine and gather the data. What does the Bible say about the creation of woman? And the context is her soul, body, mind. It says that she came from the rib of a man, which obviously would be the DNA of a man, the bone, which is an obvious inference that she's not an individual. She's a mere projection of her husband who owns her. But quite the contradiction to nature, which clearly says that man would not exist without woman. If we were to look at nature, the proper assumption would be that everything came from the female, right? The Fior male. And the Fior male, the female, the Fior male, in the truth about what makes her unlike the animals is that she is not the practical breeder of all things that it appears when you merely observe nature. And we're getting at the curse of the Garden of Eden serpent, who, as MaRhea said, is womankind. Who is the serpent in the Genesis Garden of Eden story? You know, the myth of our deceptive age. Why an Irishman like myself, a French, German Irishman, why the things that come to my mind to reference are from a Jewish book is a crying fucking shame that I am even speaking in this context right now. That the people of the Prince of Peace, the people of the descendants of the faith of Abraham, right? Because Paul, the Apostle Paul, plainly, clearly, in their mythological lie of a religion, says that Judaism, Jewishness, is not a race, of course. Look with your eyes and observe. Kind of funny how most Jews on TV have blonde hair and blue eyes and look extremely Russian, German, Hungarian, Dutch, British, because confusing you is the nature of the God of this world, because he hates fucking inauthentic pussies who parade around as caring and sharing, loving and full of charity, faith, hope, and love. But it's inauthentic. And this story has done more, like MaRhea said. If anyone doesn't like how I used my sex drive, my libido as a young woman as a means of magical, astral, mystical connection, and to whom I connected to is my business. And if you don't like it, it's because you've never been desperate enough to do anything to stop the evil that is causing the vibrational suffering and misery that echoes through the matrix endlessly around in the vicious circle of eternal return. And I talked to a sister Vril, Sister Jen, the other day, who told me the story of her mother's murder and how her grandfather sat and observed in glee. And that night, last night, I participated in Mother's ritual, and she said to me about her Jen's mother's murder that it still is echoing through the matrix, through the land that it happened, which was just a few miles from where my friends were raped, murdered, and thrown in the Mississippi River. And why? You might think, you're making kind of a stretch there, buddy. But why? Why? The curse of the serpent is the curse on womankind, not mankind. And if you're taking the Bible literal and not magical, you're, in our eyes, a fool, and not the good kind of fool. Not the good kind of fool. The good kind of fool is foolish enough to listen to me and become wise, because I'm the spokesman of the wisest woman I've ever met. And that fool will see the polarity in what we are saying. Right? That it's polar opposite. It's the air of the poles, the north and south poles, the extremist. Like MaRhea said, we're the extreme of the extremist. She said, you show me somewhere I'm not the most motherfucking extremist. She said, you know what I hate? Lukewarm. Just like Lulu. Do you hear me? Are you letting the mind control of the curse of womankind? What do you mean? That's what I said to MaRhea. And she said, I mean to go against nature and tell humankind that the proper natural way to live is for the father, the man, to be in charge of his family and make all the decisions. And it's hard to define because it's so unnatural. There's never been and never will be. And like she said, don't these words make you squirm? Like, who even uses these words? Patriarchy, matriarchy. Like she said, Do you ever think about that, Joe? Or do we just enjoy each other, laugh, and learn, and reach for the miraculous, and find the power to will, to push, or suffer, or whatever it takes to create interesting art? Really? Is that all it's about, Joe? I don't know what it's about for you. But let me tell you, when you get in touch with yourself, you'll know it's already been established. I know it's a insane thought, but I'm going to keep saying it because I know it's true, and I know how it causes sorrow and joy, the two poles, to spin, but they must spin or you will be forever in the middle, luke fucking warm. So lukewarm that everyone, hot and cold, will want to spit in your fucking face. But even worse, just won't want to be around you. Silence. Silence can mean security. Silence can mean security. The little girl taken into Sunday school and read this story that this evil, horrible woman believed this snake that she could be like God. And the little girl says, "What is God?" As MaRhea said, I will always be that little girl. And I will always be that little boy. And like Lou showed me a picture of himself, he said, I will always be that little boy. I'm still that little boy today. And my friend who killed himself appeared to me and he said, stop worrying. They can't change us. We will always be those little boys we were when we met in first grade. And listener, I wanted to write something for you. I want your dreams to come true. I longed for it, for everything you know and experienced. That's what interests me. Your story. You know, here we are face to face because your story is being told today. MaRhea has given her life back home to work in a computer simulation of Earth. And like she said, it has become the main attraction. It is the focal point of home, is Did you go? Have you went? And when we find out where we are going, when we decide to sign that contract to come here, we know that it changes everything back home. We know that we will never be the same. And I just want to mention real quick, give some clarity on the difference between experiencing, sensing, perceiving the astral plane of Earth, which is, an invisible frequency field right around you, where that's the, I'm told that's the immediate place where people go when they die. When you die, you are standing exactly, or wherever you died, your astral self literally walks out of that body. And you're just standing, you're still here from 1 millisecond to the next. And that's why a lot of people who die don't know that they're dead, especially if they die in their sleep. And like MaRhea said, that's why she works doing this. She said, Joe, no one cares about anyone, really. Very few people care enough about total strangers to do anything. And so many people are helpless once they die. They're helpless. They don't know what the fuck to do. And a lot of those people who die and are on this astral plane frequency, their main thing, and this should ring some bells, the very, very, very main thing is they can't remember who they are. Right? Like MaRhea is the 100% practical Scorpio serpent of precise wisdom. I tell you what, she's never wasted a goddamn second. Ever. And hail to your beautiful mother, who was wearing little black Chinese girl shoes, like little flat black slippers, the cutest little white mini skirt with a cute white button-up blouse, all white with the black shoes, dancing away like wild. And we started with Transmission from Joy Division, which says, dance, dance, dance to the radio. Because I am writing a book, and I'm not going to forget about the difference between the astral plane. But the reason I play her songs and we interact like this is all these years we've been having conversations about who she is and how she is and what she does. Especially her life on Earth in the first time history, because she is, once you die, you'll realize she is the most important woman ever to people who really value religious freedom. And, as I get time, I will write that book, or I will, put the data hopefully into a coherent book. But just to give people a visual, MaRhea had nothing to do with building engines or building an actual UFO. She got those instructions and just gave it to people who were engineers. She was a dancer and always was a dancer and paid the bills by teaching dance lessons, especially ballet. And she was in demand. She was a great teacher. I mean, I could just imagine how great of a dance teacher she was on earth. And like she said, as a kid and, when I was young, the only connection I had to different music was the radio. And she said, the power of fate, the true self, whatever, put me in Vienna where there was lots of art and people who liked different things. And she was like, when she was explaining to me her love of the Missouri River and Missouri and how, she visited the Matrix and would come to St. Louis and to a specific place where she showed me. I'll make a video one day of it where, as Donna, she lived for a while. And how she loved Missouri and St. Louis when she was a child because of what she said to me. My favorite music is rag. And I went, what? Rag? I said, I think I really did. At first I said, rad? Like rad, dude. You like rad music, MaRhea? She's like, no, Joe. She's like the 20s, the late 19s, late teens, the early 20s. She's like, think about it. I was 25 years old. I was, just out of college. She was like, that music, Scott Joplin, blew my mind. She said that was our punk rock. It was like so fast and aggressive and like she said, it was our shaman music. It was our shamanic music. Because, let me tell you, if you're going to do MaRhea's ritual, which, I'll give another quick outline here. You do not ever want to play slow, sad, emotional music. Don't think about it. What you want to do, what you're looking at is a time frame. Okay? The ritual begins at least a half an hour before you eat or drink your mushrooms or whatever magic plants you're taking that night. All right? A half hour before you get your incense or your candle, which is not even necessary because the incense and the candle don't exist. You are in an illusion. But you can use these things. You're not stupid but you don't have to. As I told previously, I was required to spend a night in Scott Peterson's jail cell to prove that I could do what I was doing without any of the actual physical things. Because one reason only, because you are living in Aldebaran Venusian technology that allows you, permits you, gives you the privilege of experiencing what it was like to live under and with evil. Evil. Like the United States military that from afar drops a bomb on an apartment building and kills hundreds of people over and over and over with no conscience. Right? That's evil. Poisoning the food, poisoning the water is evil. Putting poison in all the food and causing diseases so you can sell them drugs in an endless circle of stealing their money is evil. That's what GMO food is. It's just a marketing scam. A perfect chemical circle. It's the same fucking people. We have an enemy, people. They're right in front of your face. Matter of fact, they'll threaten you if you're looking at them. If you look at them too close, they'll start threatening you. Okay, and you start the ritual by clear a half hour before. You start the ritual by walking. You could do this either way, but I like to, well, actually I do it either way. You can start in the center of your area, your house, and work outwards. And I walk around with my sage or my incense or my candle, and I say things like, I work for this motherfucking place, this house. If anyone, if your thoughts are even in here, any lingering energy of the people who live with me, get back to your own space. I pay for this. You're my guest here. You don't have any right to interfere. And if you do, I'll throw you straight out. Because my gods come before everyone. And I walk around and I say, hey, if you're trying to do magic on me, get the fuck out of my house. Every last bit of essence, energy from any and every black magician. I cancel every spelled out word against me. Matter of fact, I will challenge you to who deserves it. And may it return to you because you do deserve it. May it not die, but stay active and return to you. And I go outside my house and I go to the perimeter of my land. And I walk that perimeter and I say, I erect this ancient ice wall like my Hyperborean ancestors. And I dare you to come across this wall. I will take joy at watching them destroy you, torment you for all the injustice and unfairness. Just the basic unfairness of cheating to win, right? That's why the losers are always winning in the real world. It's a beautiful balance. And before you consume your mushrooms, put them over the sage, and you say, I don't want any gods, human beings, animals, plants, anything interfering. This is me and the mysterious mushroom. And speak to it and say, I want to understand how this happens and how you relate to my body. Because if you're smart and you're gathering data and observing, you will notice how the out of body mushroom experience, listen to me, out of body mushroom experience is extremely similar to dreaming. Yeah, and that is the analogy that MaRhea used in the beginning. And exactly what I mean is this. At a lower dose, the mushrooms or any magical plant will tune you into the astral plane frequency, which is dead people, black magicians on earth that are moving out. It's not you're not completely out. Okay, you might technically you're out of your body sometimes. You can perceive the astral plane in your body, of course, because where is your perception? But you also can move out of your body and interact with others on the astral plane of the earth. But, do you hear the but at a threshold amount? And if you want it, you will find it. And if you're afraid, do it anyway. That's courage. That's courage. There's a threshold amount. Let's talk psilocybin. With the magic mushrooms, around for a small woman, maybe 4 grams. For a large man, maybe 5.5, 6. But for a pretty much normal person, 5 grams of decent mushrooms will yank you out of your avatar, and it will happen like this. You may be moving on the astral plane at first, right? But here's the key. I don't know if I've described, this sufficiently. So after you consume your mushrooms, you must have all this prepared beforehand. Have your music playlist prepared before you start. So you clean the space. You drink your mushrooms. For me, I love to smoke in that time where the mushrooms are about to kick in. But as MaRhea's student, I know the value, and it's a requirement for her ritual. You prepare your playlist, but you also prepare your space to meditate, because you're going to put your music on. You're going to light your joint or get your smoke, your cigarette, or your whatever, and smoke and dance until you can't. The mushrooms will start to take charge. They will start taking effect, and it will start affecting your dancing. You may go up in energy. You want, medium to up-paced meditative music. In the first, you can have the first few songs can be very energetic and just really let some energy go. Shake off all the day's energy. I take a very, very, very deep breath every ritual, and I say, I'm breathing in the moon and the ritual. And I'm breathing out the day and the work. Right? You want a clear divide. I am entering the moon space, the silver light. The golden light is for the work to get the work done, to keep the food on the table. The silver moonlight is for the revelation of essential knowledge that keeps us becoming, keeps us interested in our life. And when you cannot dance anymore, you lay down in your meditation space. You get your crystals and your favorite crystal. Put it on your third eye. Put others on your chest. Put crystal where you have any aches and pains. But this isn't the main thing. But the crystals can help, and it's worth doing. And you close your eyes and you say goodbye to the matrix. And you will start to travel. You'll feel yourself moving. And it usually is kaleidoscope patterns of colors and beautiful geometry, which, as MaRhea said to me, you're actually seeing the construct of the digital laser technology that is creating the matrix. It is creating in your imagination what you're seeing. And you're actually still laying on a bed in Venus. But as you travel through the energy fields, the sacred geometry that you are and everything else is, you may see everything may turn white or it may not. And just like a dream, click, and I was standing before MaRhea Orsic. And she said, Jojo, ask me anything you want to know. And that experience, that's the difference between the astral plane and the gods clicking you in to another world. It's faster than the speed of light. It's faster than a thought. It's magic, for real. For real. And it inspires me that one day, I want to be a shaman. One day, I want to be Lou. Because I am from St. Louis. And we're all about the blues, the blues. And while I'm on it, I know that there's one answer, a one-word answer to everyone's problem. And the answer comes from the nature and name of the most beloved human being of MaRhea Orsic. Her God, the person she respects and admires the most. This word came to us from him. And the answer to eternal return. Everything, including you, the planets, time, beyond time, timelessness, physical, spiritual, intellectual, are all going in circles. Every possibility has been played out by your miraculous mind. You are God over you. You are the Lord of you. You are the creator of your own persona. No one created you. And the answer to our problems, our people, is love.